Hello and welcome back to another OmniHeroes video. Flipping heck, I need a haircut, most definitely. But in this video, hopefully we're going to go from 51 all the way through to 60. We'll just see what team that we need to use to build around. So first things first, Mystifiers. Hold on. Sorry about that. Whenever I sit down to record anything, it seems that is when my family needs me the most, apparently. So, Mystifiers. First things first, your core Mystifiers that you should be aiming for, the best of the best, are these three. So, Talos, Dullahan, and Astrid. You should really be aiming for Astrid first. Astrid is probably the best, in my opinion, the best Mystifier that there is. It may take you a while to get up to, but the whole point of having these three is that you've got your two deviants between Dullahan and Astrid, but you also have your three Monarch units as well, which will hopefully propel the team forward, give that additional layer of survivability to the team. So for me, those three are the ones that you are going for. But what we like to do is we like a challenge. So let's go ahead and see whether or not we can do this without DD units. So we'll take Sandra out, put Bastet in, put Franz at the back, and hopefully we'll be able to take it from here. We'll see. It may be a lot of damage right off the bat, but we'll pop in you, and we will pop in the book, and then we can pop in Knight's Edge. Now, Knight's Edge, the most common Mystifiers Chrono Relic. For me, that is one that you should be going for. You should be prioritizing your Hand of Tyr. You should be prioritizing your Knight's Edge and your Famine Scales as well. Artifacts, absolutely fine. You're just looking for this. Increased by, currently for me, 350%. And this increase the duration of debuffs applied by allies by 100% rounds, and the stack limit for the corrode effect increased by 20 as well. Do I think this team is going to win? Probably not. Look at the synergy that we've got going on. It's just 5 Mystifiers, 3 Shadow Arcs, 2 Light Seekers, 2 Phantoms, 2 Protectors. We've got no Thornbinders, no Glacians. It is what it is. We'll see. We'll have to see whether or not this team can win. I don't think they can. We might be able to put out enough damage, but I think we do need an Ethereal on the team. Not an Ethereal. We need a Glorian on the team. And I think potentially we need a DD unit on the team as well in order to pass through, just to get the additional synergies. But we'll just have to see. We do apply all of this corrode right at the start. And so they are taking a lot of damage right off the bat. However, they may be doing too much damage to us, potentially. So we get the control effect reduced. And as you can see, we're not doing altogether too much damage, actual physical damage, but we are looking to apply as much of that corrode as possible. So Minotaur down, Bastet down, of course, but enemies do have that 19 stacks of corrode. And we do get the fortitude effect as well, being applied to Bastet, which I think is very, very good. Now, potentially putting Franz at the front may have been the best way to go. And the reason for that is the Phantom synergy. So when Franz dies, we should get another unit returned. Bastet to do a little bit of damage, but we do reduce attack. And that is whenever a corrode stack is applied. I believe that we reduce the attack up to that limit of 5 attack stacks per unit. So again, corrode stacks being applied. Fortunately, we've got that Holy Shield buff. And we do get some protection as well. But, oof, that was painful. I'll just have to see how much corrode damage is actually done here. So it looks like the shield, with thanks to Makaria, is too much for our team to handle. Yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully Franz can pull through here. We'll just have to see. Yeah, this is a fail, unfortunately. Shame. Hold on. Sorry about that. Every time I try and sit down and record, Something always comes up. Anyway, this is, I don't want to say it, but it's pretty garbage. I understand these two, so Franz and Minotaur, even with exclusive runes. So I've got Emily's 2 and 2 exclusive runes, Minotaur's exclusive runes, Lancelot, and I've got 2/2 for Franz as well. So let's just check on this. Yeah, 2/2 for Franz as well. Kind of waking him though, so let's pump him up. So he does get a massive attack increase from that, but again, I just don't think it's going to be enough. So we will go with, take out Bastet, and we will take out Emily. And let's put in a Glorian here. Really, I could do with a Phantom Glorian or a Protector, but we have quite a severe lack of those. Marina being a Protector to link up potentially with Lancelot and to link up with Minotaur. And then we'll pop an Ethereal in here. And I'm going to use, where have you gone? Brutus. No, I'm just joking. He is Phantom and he is a Shadow Arc technically, but there is a better option in the form of Anubia, who is a Shadow Arc and also a Phantom as well. And the reason that I'm going to go for these units here is because we do want, yeah, it's fine. We do want the Ethereals perk and we want the Glorians perk as well as the energy build up. Specifically from Mystifiers as well, and we get the corrode damage perk. So if we have a look, I've boosted my Mystifiers up to full, everything 5 out of 5, and we've got the proof as well, just because I think they are the most powerful this season. So as you can see, we're not doing as much damage as we were previously, but that's fine. We're not looking to do altogether too much damage. We do increase our HP. We reduce that control rate down as well. But we don't really have a dedicated healer on the team. Again, if you don't have somebody like Seraphina, it might be a little bit difficult for you. But we do get that dodge, and then we do get, so we do get the dodge and then the attack back as well. So just something to keep in mind. Yeah, so much more damage this time round, and then hopefully we'll get Anubia to start propelling things. Minotaur to double the number of corrode stacks that are applied per hit, which is absolutely fantastic. And we get the corrode stacks from the book, or the Holy Shield from the book, which is what will keep Franz alive. And then we still didn't do enough to finish him off. Fortunately, that was a big miss. That was a big miss. Elune is probably going to not do too badly, actually. And then we get some misses here as well. So yeah, I think dodge is really the way forward for this team. The Shadow Arc synergy between Franz and Anubia seems to be what we need to progress. Yeah, again, having a Protector on the team, again, it's tough using these non-DD units, again, but it is possible to beat these sages using these units as well. So let's go ahead and build another Mystifiers team. Let's jump into, see what different options we have, and let's go with a Strikers team. So I've got Mulan and I've got Catherine. We need one more. There's no other striker on the team. Well, technically there is, in the form of Medusa, and everybody should have a copy of Medusa. So yes, technically you can have 3 Mystifier strikers, but we'll keep Lancelot on the team. Again, he is my favourite Mystifier of the most recent releases. Gaia she's top notch, Gaia, but not everybody will have a copy of her. So after stage 55, that's when we'll start to have a look. Now we do need a striker. We can use Nawi or we can use Seraphina. In my case, I'm going to use Seraphina, and then we want an ethereal striker as well. So we've got 4 strikers and Lancelot. Again, we can use Karnak in this position as well, or potentially we can use Katrina in this position. She will link up with Lancelot. She'll give the 2 Dawnbringers synergies. She will also give the Protectors synergy as well. But in this case, We'll go with strikers and just see how well that does for us. I'm going to leave the relics as they are. And then we should be able to proceed as normal. Now, we can go ahead and build an enchanters team next. So we'll try that one. If we can win this, we'll see. The shielding and the healing between Katrina and Karnak on the enemy team might be a bit too much for us to handle, but we should be absolutely fine with Seraphina here as well. Now, we do get the attack increase and defense increase from the Mistfires perk. From the Grace of Hunters perk provided by the Glorian. It's on the team, Seraphina. We do apply burn as well, so corrode and burn and attack reduction and plenty of corrode, as you can see. We do get the dodge for Seraphina, which means that we'll pump up early in round 1, so we really shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. And flipping heck, it's a lot of damage coming from Lysandra here. And lots of misses going on, and lots of damage. lots of damage on the enemy team here, and that's from the corrode stacks with thanks to Lancelot. Again, he's just very impressive. An additional 200% damage for your corrode triggers. Really powerful stuff. And then that should be, yeah, that's it. All sorted. So again, you can build a strikers team. Again, having Lancelot in there is pretty key. But let's go ahead and change up the team even more. Again, I'm going to focus primarily around Lancelot because that's who you should be focusing on when you are trying to look to build a Mistfires team. Lancelot is really spot on. Now, let's jump into... Let's go with Emily. We've not seen very much of Emily. She's an enchanter. There is one other enchanter on the team, and that is Odyssey. Now, I am one off Ossie's runes. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. His runes are okay. But we'll try him in this one, in our enchanters. We'll jump into enchanters here. We can use Corolla, who shares Shadow Arc with Emily. And let's pop in Anubia again. We don't really have too many enchanters. We have Masterma on the team, but it's not something that we should be primarily focusing on. But yeah, this should be absolutely fine. Again, we're revolving around Lancelot as much as possible, just to see. But Emily should do the trick. She will also apply that corrode at the start of battle. So you'll see in a minute we'll get the stacks of corrode applied to these enemies here. And that's the physical down. We get the corrode stacks, even more corrode stacks. Yeah, it's strong. It's strong to say the least. So again, using these units, bit of fun. There are some more serious builds that you can make up, but these teams should be absolutely fine. As you can see, Lancelot, he just applies so much, especially with Emily on the team. It's a shame. Corolla down. And they get that shielding back as well. So, fortunately, big misses here. Yeah, and then very close to wiping them, almost all of them out. And that is with thanks to Emily on the team as well. Emily increases the amount of corrode damage done, as well as Lancelot. And Ozzy does relatively high amounts of damage, as you can see. He's quite powerful. Let's just explore Ozzy for a second. So his first attack, shatters the ground, single target damage, 250% physical with 100% base chance to apply 5 stacks of corrode. It is a lot. 120% physical with 100% chance to apply 2 stacks of corrode. When Ozzy is deployed for every stack of corrode the allied team applies on the enemy, there's a 30% chance to apply one stack of decreased defense, and every 1% in Ozzy's cure rate additionally increases attack by 2%. Let's have a look at his runes very quickly. At the start of the round, there's a 50% chance to apply amnesia to one random enemy, and can only use basic attacks, and their defense decreases by 30%. If this moved up to 100%, then I think it would be better, much better, because it's effectively guaranteed that you'll apply that amnesia, but because it's not guaranteed, I don't think it's worth it really. Let's try this team one more time just to see whether or not it's consistent. Again, if I was going to build this team, I would probably change up Odyssey for Minotaur, and I would probably change out potentially Emily for Franz as well. But I think after this, so from Nightmare 55, that's when we'll start to look at other team builds and much more DD focused team builds as well. Now I'll show you something pretty nasty, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's not bad at all. So Emily here, not Emily, Corolla here does reduce reflect rate and can also retaliate with that the basic attack, or not basic, the ultimate every time we miss, or every time we dodge an attack, same as Anubia here. And we keep building up this attack. Unfortunately, it is, yeah, we do have Corolla down, but seems as though Anubia, fortunately, able to power through, and then because of those dodges, we were able to ultimate enough so that the corrode can take them down at the end of round 2. So again, nothing too difficult here, just applying that corrode as much as possible, having the ultimates there, and then we do have Corolla here who can counter Minotaur, but again, we're going to go ahead and build around. So we will pop in Astrid, we will pop in Dullahan. Let's go ahead and pop in, where have you gone, Seraphina, and then we'll pop in another Monarch. Just joking. Let's go over to Dooms and let's find a Monarch here. So we've got our 3 Monarchs plus Seraphina and Lancelot as well. Let's go to change up our relics. They do seem to be putting in work, but again, there are better relics. Death Scythe, absolutely fantastic relic and consistent as well. The new relic here, the Scissors, whatever they are actually called, Vanquisher, I believe. For me, mid-tier, not great. So we go with Plague Bow and we go with Night's Edge as well. Artifacts stay the same. We are looking for as much survivability as possible so that we can continue to put the work in. Now, Seraphina hopefully should trigger a couple of times here, increasing our attack and defense as well. We do apply some corrode, but not as much corrode as we've become accustomed to with those other teams. As you can see, nowhere near as much damage as we've previously done, but with Halissa on the team, we do get the buffs from her passive, the entire team do, plus then our Monarch will have an additional 300% as well. So we are looking for survivability more than anything. Unfortunately, Dullahan frozen. It is what it is. And as you can see, no Ethereal on this team at the moment. But yes, just Minotaur to survive on this one. With Astrid on the team, she really, really pushes through a lot of damage, increasing Lancelot's damage very significantly. Now, if we were going to run a full Mystifiers team, I would honestly go with Talos, pop you in the back, you in the front, and then go with either Catherine. If Catherine is on the team, Dullahan goes in this slot, so it's Talos, Dullahan, Catherine, Lancelot, and Astrid. If you don't have Catherine on the team, you can go with Mulan on the team, and you would swap round Astrid and Dullahan into this back position as well. The reason for that is because Dullahan attacks more often. Not more often, but he attacks more units. Let me just show you. He attacks more units than Astrid, and therefore will apply more burn to the enemy units. So again, this is full Mystifiers team. This is a team that I would run typically in Yggdrasil in normal arena, PvP, stuff like that. And then so enemies do heal up. That is a factor that you need to consider against enemy misfires, but we should be absolutely fine. As you can see, we're applying all this corrode and all of this burn as well. We do get sanctuary applied as well, but shouldn't be too much. So again, very close to just wiping them all out in one shot with all of the corrode and the burn that has been applied. But fortunately we do get to see this, so we should have Talos pop off. Also Astrid will pop off first, then it will be Talos. And then Dullahan will kick in as well. And we'll see that in a second. Dullahan will apply much more burn than Astrid could, and much more corrode as well than Astrid could in that back slot, which is why we put them on the same row as Mulan as well, because we want as many burn stacks as possible. Now Lancelot only does single target damage here, but on his next attack he will pop in. Oof, unfortunate. Mulan down. And Lancelot down as well. Guess we'll never get to see that round 3. So Phantom should kick in here. Yep, so they get Dullahan back, but Astrid, hopefully, no, tough stuff. We'll see at the end of the round. Dullahan goes straight down. And there you go. So these 3, really, your core units. Like I was saying before, they are your core units. One sec. Again, every single time I try to sit down and record something, that is when my family needs me most. So, those are your 3 units that you want to build around Astrid, Dullahan, and Talos as well. Lancelot can factor into that. He is very, very powerful. But what we're going to do is just change things up. And yes, I'm going to use Gaia, because I have Gaia at 9 stars. And because I very much enjoy using Gaia. She is a treat, an absolute treat. So we'll use Underworld Key. We will go with Plague Bow. And then we'll go with Night's Edge. Again, I do think Plague Bow and Night's Edge are the best slot 2 and slot 3 relics for Mystifiers. Really, really good relics. Really consistent as well. You can use them anywhere, basically. And even, not even in Mystifiers. Flipping heck. I definitely do need a haircut, don't I? Yeah, my wife keeps telling me, but just can't find the time to go. Just not got enough time in the day, but I will very, very soon. So as you can see, much more damage been done to these guys. Now that we've got Gaia on the team, and Gaia, in case you don't know, she applies this Genesis Glow up to 100 stacks, and it increases damage by 0.6%, I believe, and it also increases damage reduction as well for the entire team. No, damage reduction is 0.6% per stack. So if you have 10 stacks, you'll get 6% damage reduction. If you have 100 stacks, this is what I mean. They just all go down very quickly. But yes, so if you have 100 stacks, you get 60% damage reduction for the entire team. And as well, you also get the attack increase. So let me just show that off. One sec. Yep, applies 1 stack of corrode being applied by allies. So whenever you apply a stack of corrode, she'll apply a second one. Gaia increases all allies' damage boost by 10% and damage reduction by 0.6 up to 100 times. So you get 1000% damage boost and 60% damage reduction if you get those 100 stacks of corrode on. And that is continuous, and this does not dissipate for Celestials, and it doesn't dissipate for Lachesis either. Now, Gaia possesses a unique power of law that reduces the speed of all enemies by 30. And additionally, if the total number of corrode stacks on all enemies exceeds 100, Gaia will gain invincibility. This is not possible. Looks flashy. Yes, she will gain invincibility. That is correct. If you get the stacks over 100. How do you get the stacks over 100? I don't know. Not in normal gameplay mode, anyway. In PvE, yeah, you can get it to be invincible by this. The stack limit for the corrode effect increased by 20. So each unit will start out with a limit of 25 corrode stacks. Again, that is how you do it. So you can have 4 units with 25 corrode stacks on, and Gaia will become invincible. But as you can see, we're doing far too much damage already. We've got 5 stacks of corrode on each of them, and they are healing up. That is a factor that you can take into consideration. But this, for me, is optimal. Optimal mystifiers. The only person that you can take out to make it much more optimal, would be Lancelot. Just take Lancelot out. He does do quite a bit of, as you can see here, corrode applying. All enemies up to 7 or 8 stacks now, which puts Gaia up to, so we've got 36 stacks of the Genesis Glow, which means that we've got an increase of 360% damage, which then applies on the start of round 2. They'll come back with no corrode applied. We've got 3 phantoms here, but again, we're going to apply too much corrode. They're not going to be able to do very much at all. There we go. Astrid to one-shot Persephone. Emily does come back, but Talos here should be more than... Oh, no. Dullahan maybe, yeah. We apply the attack down, and we apply the corrode stacks, and then or Gaia just to finish things off, of course. And there we go, perfect. So I think Gaia will have done the most. Oh no, Astrid to do the most here. Still a staple, absolutely a staple. Right, okay, so yeah, we'll carry on with this team, and then I'm just going to show one last team at the end. We're up to 27 minutes, so we can go ahead and skip this one. We've seen it happen before. We know what Gaia can do. And then what we'll do, take out Lancelot, and we will take out Talos of this one. We will go ahead and pop in Seraphina. And we want to go ahead and pop in... where are you? We'll pop in Karnak as well. Pop Dullahan and Astrid on the front because they are the tankiest, because we do have only 2 monarchs as well. The other thing that I was going to show off, but I won't really have time to, or levels 2 anyway, would be the Dooms and Mystifiers team up this season. So Dooms, when they start, they do damage equal to HP. Or your HP, they do damage equal to, I think, 20% of your HP to enemies, and also Mystifiers at the start will also do damage based on corrode stacks, I believe. So building a team around that, it gets mental. It really does get mental. The reason I think this is optimal this season, you've got your 2 protectors, you do have 1 striker, which is an outlier, and your 2 mystifiers. You can replace Seraphina with another monarch for the survivability of things. Now Fortitude gets applied. I don't care about Fortitude. It's just going to be Celine leading the way here for the enemy team. Again, I don't think it's going to be altogether too tough to beat. And primarily because Fortitude wears off. This particular Fortitude will wear off at the end of round 2 or the end of round 3. I believe it lasts for 2 turns. But Persephone down, so she can't reapply the reapply the Fortitude effect here. And Sally's just a punching bag right now. So yeah, Gaia to do 20 million in comparison with Execute, Karnak, fantastic. But yes, for me, Gaia is absolutely fantastic. The rest of the Mystifier team, the Mystifier B team is sort of mediocre. It's not fantastic, but the end game team for Mystifiers is probably one of the best teams in the game. So just keep that in mind. Astrid, always a staple. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I do hope you have a fantastic day. Let me know how things are going for you. And if you can like and subscribe, it'd be really appreciated.